Hey everyone, Austin here again with another Let's Play video. Today it's going to be Mortal Kombat II for the Sega Saturn, the relatively infamous port of Mortal Kombat II. This is one you don't hear about very often, mainly because it just was sort of a lackluster conversion back in the day. Revisiting it now, it's actually not nearly as bad as I remembered it. It's actually maybe even recommendable depending on what kind of price you get it for. It does have a lot of aspects that are faithful to the arcade version, like, you know, this intro text, which is really cool. Unfortunately, a lot of the music has been changed out and it sounds different. A lot of the sound effects are missing. Overall, it's a great looking game, but gameplay wise, your characters move kind of slow. It's really weird. So we're going to go ahead and run through this game. We should be able to do this without any problems. And I'm going to sort of like comment on a lot of the flaws the game has as we go through this game. And I'm going to play with Sub-Zero because that should pretty much guarantee us to successfully get through this. But as you can see, I mean, the game actually looks pretty good. You know, comparing it to the arcade MK2, you know, the characters look good. They're big. They animate decently. And, you know, it's got a high color count, just like the arcade version of MK2. And, you know, it's good stuff in that regard. But there's a lot of music changes as well, like this. Like, what is that? Why did they change that? I have no idea. Like, the arcade soundtrack, even for that part, was so awesome. Like, not sure what the reasoning was for that, but the game still actually plays relatively decently. The biggest problem is your left to right movement on the ground is extremely slow. Like, very, very slow. Like, your forward movement is the same as your backwards movement. And I think in the arcade version, your backwards movement was like this, but your forward movement was faster. And so you've got really slow forward and backwards movement, but your jumping and everything else is pretty much the same. One of the other problems with this game is there's slight load times every time you throw out a special move for the first time on every level. Including fatalities and stage fatalities and stuff like that. There's always a tiny pause. And that's kind of glaring. But aside from that, the game actually plays fine. It actually plays all right. You know, the AI is actually a lot easier in this game too. Like, they're more apt to just like run into your projectiles. Like, check this out. This would never happen in the arcade version. They would always duck it. So for those of you guys that are terrible at Mortal Kombat, you might actually really like this version because it's not nearly as hard as the other ones. See? I mean, just freeze them over and over and over again. You cannot do that in MK2 in the arcades. So it does have that going for it.
Finish him.
Wait, down, what the hell? Is it down forward? I thought it was down forward forward block. Down forward block? I don't remember. So yeah, I mean, it's Mortal Kombat 2, guys. It's MK2. It's tough to recommend with the price it goes for nowadays. I think a complete copy is like $20 or $25 now. Whereas many years ago, it was like a $10 or $15 game. And at that price, you know, it was kind of fun to mess around with. But the thing is, if you're going to pay $25 or $30, it's just like, why? You can pay $5 or $6 and get one of the Midway Arcade Treasures compilations on PS2 or Xbox that has this game. The arcade version of the game, mind you. Or get the Mortal Kombat Arcade Collection on 360 or PS3. And, you know, just call it a day. Those are pretty much arcade perfect as well. Really good stuff. So, slight pause there for the fatality. And the sounds are just all over the place. Like, In the arcade version, it would have made like this huge like boom sound when he did that fatality. But in this, it was like nothing, and then all you heard was literally just like that. It's just like in some cases, there was very little attention to detail on this port of the game, which makes very little sense. And it's quite a shame, honestly, because it's a freaking Sega Saturn, man. It was totally, as you could see, it was totally capable of doing pretty much a perfect arcade port of this game. I mean, just graphically speaking, the game looks awesome. It looks very much like MK2 does in the arcade. It's a very faithful version graphically, but everything else, you know, all the little things add up to make for a relatively unpolished product that people notice. They notice it's unpolished because there's so many little details that are messed up. And another reason why the slow forward movement is a problem is because it seems like your fatality time in this game is actually shorter than it is in the arcade. Maybe it isn't, or maybe it is, I don't know. Or maybe it's just your slow forward movement is what makes it feel like you get less time, because you'll just be standing there, and you'll be like, oh man, I need to walk up to him to do the fatality, but my movement is so slow, I can't do it. And, Toasty's still here, though.
Fight.
So the AI is, you know, I actually like the AI kind of being gimped like this because, you know, Mortal Kombat 2 was always, or any of the Mortal Kombat games, was always about playing with real people, right? Pretty much any fighting game, it was all about playing with real people. Although I did play a lot of single player in a lot of these fighting games, but the AI in the MK games were absurdly cheap. They were programmed to be able to do things that a human player was incapable of doing. And so that makes these games extremely frustrating to try to play solo. And so having the AI really toned down in this game, a little bit dumber, was actually kind of a good thing, if you ask me. Like, you know, if you're not careful and you play dumb, they're gonna get you. But, and this is just the default mode too, the default difficulty. You can put it onto a harder difficulty mode. And some characters are going to be a lot harder than others. Like if you play a Scorpion, they don't always just run right into your harpoon like they do with Sub-Zero's freeze. So, you know, playing with Sub-Zero in this version is almost like playing it on easy mode or something like that. It's like an extra easy mode.
Finish him.
Oops. But I like actually being able to get through the game without that much trouble, because what usually happens in the arcade version of MK2 is I have to continue a lot. You know, once you get a few matches in, the AI really gets, well, quote unquote, smarter. Really, they get cheaper. They start doing a lot of things that a normal player can't do. Like if you low kick, they always sweep. At least in this one, they just duck. But, oh, it actually worked that time, see? But if this was the arcade version, no, he would have swept. Or he would have ducked, and then he would have just thrown me. Likewise, in the arcade version, if you jump kick, a lot of times what they'll start doing is just, like, roundhouse kicking you, or jump kicking you out of it, or, whoa.
Finish him.
There we go. It even had to load that. It was just like, oh man, really?
Fatality.
No, these are all just really little things. I mean, if you're not an arcade purist, you're probably not going to notice this stuff that much. But, you know, if you played a lot of the arcade version like I have, you just... all the issues are pretty glaring. And, you know, these are issues that just the general gaming populace and the press noticed back in the day when this game was new. You know, they basically complained that, hey, you know, this could have been like a perfect arcade port, but just a lack of attention to detail and so forth, and lots of little glitches and stuff like that. Like sometimes if you look in the background, ooh. Sometimes, like, you know, when you uppercut someone and they land on the ground, like the whole arena shakes. But sometimes what happens is the arena will shake back and forth, and it'll like glitch out with the rest of the background. It's really weird. You'll note if you look closely, you'll notice that sometimes it doesn't always happen. Oops. And so lots of little flaws like that sort of add up to being just kind of a jarring experience in some ways. But you know what I really should have done before starting to complain about the game? Was actually tell you guys how to play the game. Normally that's what I do first, then I start bitching about the game. But I figure most of you guys watching already know Mortal Kombat. You guys kind of already know what's going on. This was a very, very popular game across all systems back in the day. And this is actually my favorite Mortal Kombat in the whole series. I really like MK2. This was, to me, like before the series got extremely goofy. You know, like with MK3, it was, things got a little more comical in some ways. Still an awesome game. I still love MK3. I think it's an awesome game. But MK2 just still had a little more edge to it, you know. Although it did have your babalities and your friendships, so those are pretty hilarious. But MK2 has always been my favorite. It's got the biggest booming soundtrack of all of them. It's got the biggest booming sound effects out of all of them. It's just got a well-paced gameplay setup. You know, it's not too fast like MK3. It's a really solid, well-made game overall. Lots of secrets and stuff.
Fight.
You know, it's got your hidden pit fatalities like this, or stage fatalities, where you can knock him into the acid pit, but it's a different move than your normal stage fatality.
Fight.
So stuff like that's always been really cool to me. Ooh. Nice.
Finish him.
So for this stage fatality, you actually have to hold down both low punch and low kick, and then press high or do an uppercut at the exact same time. So you basically have to press 3 buttons to launch them. To launch him into that acid. So with Sub-Zero, I usually just freeze him and then do it, because when you freeze them and do it, like, they're still blue when they go into the acid pit. It's just kind of funny. It's a little Easter egg, sort of, that I've always liked to do in the arcade one.
Fight.
Now, normally what I would do is I would do Sub-Zero's slide right after that, but I don't know how to do it in this version. In the arcade game, it's all 3 lower buttons.
Fight.
Oh, that is how you do it in this version. Okay. See, in other home versions of the game, it's you can actually do it slightly differently, so you can. It's a lot easier to do in the home control setup. Let's dance. Alright, Scorpion, I'll just let the timer roll out if that's really what you want. I mean, we can do this all day. And that is a good example of what the Mortal Kombat AI can be like. You know, every time you do a specific move, they will do the same thing to avoid it. Not the same thing, but they'll do something to avoid it always. So a lot of moves in the arcade version of this game are pretty much fruitless. Like, you don't want to do them because they never work. You know, the AI is programmed to say, oh, if he does a sweep, I'm going to jump kick him. I'm going to do a standing jump kick or something like that, you know? Or I'm going to do a special move like Kung Lao that teleports to the other side of him. So, yeah, another gaping flaw in the game is every time Shang Tsung transforms, he has to load. And I think that happened on the Sega CD version of Mortal Kombat. I think it happened in the PlayStation version of Mortal Kombat 3. So it's not like this is the only version of the game that does that. But, oh, it's so jarring. Hell, Ultimate MK3 might even do it on Saturn for all I know. But one of the most jarring things is that whenever you do a standard special move, like your Ice Freeze, for the first time, it always pauses as well. So it's just like, I wonder why they just didn't load all the moves into memory. Like, I mean, clearly it was possible because the game doesn't load again after you do the special move. It's just like, why wasn't everything just loaded in the memory at once before the fight? I don't know. I'm not a programmer. So maybe there was a good reason why they had to have normal special move load times. But seeing as the moves don't load again after the first time each match, it seems like they could have just loaded everything in the memory immediately. I don't know why they didn't. So we're gonna just keep playing like this against Kentaro. Kentaro's a pain in the ass. Got him. So I like to take advantage of this in this version with Sub-Zero. It's just basically jump kick, freeze, jump kick, freeze. You can freeze him literally. Shit, I messed up. You literally freeze him right as he's getting back up, and it kind of pretty much always works unless you personally screw up, like I did there, where I was starting to like flail around with the buttons, and I ended up doing like a jumping punch attack instead.
Fight.
Oh, so close, man. I was very confident we were going to do this without continuing. Oh, look, even that text is different. I think that's like red in the arcade version. Well, that said, let's play around with some other characters. We've got a couple continues. So we might as well have some fun here, guys, right?
Fight.
Holy crap, man. The move is not coming out.
Fight.
It's back. Back, both punch, low punch and high punch. Holy shit, it's not working? What the hell, man? But that works, yay. Alright, reptile was a bad idea. His force ball or whatever is kind of important, and if you can't do it, he's not much of a character. Alright, let's try Quintana. Oh great, she's got a similar move. Forward, high punch, low punch. If I'm having a hard time doing it with Reptile, it's probably not going to work with her. I guess we'll find out.
Fight.
No, it works. Man. And that fan attack basically doesn't do any damage on him.
Fight.
Although it seems like he always runs into it. So as long as he always runs into it, that's all that matters. Okay, maybe we can do this after all.
Fight.
Oh, nice. Got it. Right on. Okay, I'll take that. That's how MK2 is. You've got to really just find a weakness in the system, man, and exploit it. Because the AI is so cheap in the MK games that that's really all you can do.
You will die.
It's a shame she doesn't have any other projectiles.
You will die.
Oh, but she's also got that move. Completely useless. Oh, man. Melina's probably a bad idea. Baraka, Scorpion. Oh, I don't know. Scorpion's at least got the teleport and his harpoon.
You will die. Get over here! Get over here! Get over here!
Well, okay, I guess that works.
You will die.
And that's it.
No. No.
And yes, the screen actually does that crazy effect. So this wasn't just your computer monitors messing up. Once again, I'm the Supreme Mortal Kombat Warrior. What if I never played Mortal Kombat? What if it was my first time? This is Where is Goro on the bottom. I wonder if Goro is a hidden character in this version. Wow, listen to that. No music for the ending. Amazing. So there you have it, guys. Mortal Kombat 2 for the Sega Saturn. It's kind of an interesting version, I suppose. I mean, I used to really rail on this version, being like, oh, it's the worst version of Mortal Kombat 2 ever, but really it's not that bad. If you've got a Saturn, if you've got it, you'll have some fun with it. It's got good graphics, there's no denying that. It's a good looking game, all things considered. And a lot of the little like pauses and hiccups you'll get used to. It's really not that bad. It's just the fact that there could have been better. You know, especially based on what we got with Ultimate MK3 and MK Trilogy on Saturn. Like, there definitely could have been better. And it was probably just laziness from Probe. Those are the guys that ported the game. And, yeah. Oh, man. I mean, it's still a fun game. I picked it up mainly to do a Let's Play and to stream, and it's been fun for that. And that said, I hope you guys enjoyed this Let's Play. And if you played this version of MK2, let me know your thoughts, or if you haven't, also let me know your thoughts, your opinions based on watching this gameplay. And so here are some of the guys that actually worked on the home version of the game. So if you ever see them in real life, smack them across the face for me a few times. No, I'm just kidding. That'd be mean. But this is oh jeez. I honestly would not be happy to put my face on this product. I am sorry. No, really though, I mean, it's not a horrible version of the game. You know, I used to say play the 32X1 if you want the best home version of MK2, or the Super Nintendo version. The best home version from the early 90s console version, because there's always the PC version, which was pretty solid. But nowadays it's just redundant regardless. If you don't want to buy 50 different versions of the same game, you just want the best one. You either get the modern ones on 360, PS3, or PC, or you buy the Midway Arcade Treasures Volume 2 for PS2 or Xbox, and you call it a day. That's it. And you get a lot of other great games too with it, like MK3 and Primal Rage and stuff like that. So alright guys, screen went black. Is the game gonna load up or what? I still hear music. Okay. Black screen for the win. So that's it, guys. Again, hope you enjoyed this Let's Play. I'll be back with more Let's Plays sometime soon. For those of you guys new to my channel, please consider subscribing. I've got lots of other Let's Plays and long plays and gameplay videos and all that type of stuff on my channel. So there's a huge backlog waiting for you if you haven't already been subscribed to my channel. And for everybody else, thanks as usual. Hope you enjoyed it again, and I'll catch you guys soon. Take it easy.